Can we expect these winter storms to last? Here's our agri-weather outlook.
Weather pattern now with February turning to March. Arctic air is really in retreat. It's not going to be quite as cold. However, the northern plains and much of the Great Lakes still looking to stay generally colder than average. And we have a snow track. The weather pattern looks to bring probably several chances of additional snow into the northern plains and Great Lakes area over the next couple of weeks. And further south and east on the central and eastern parts of the corn bean belt, it looks rainy. So it's a wet start to the month of March in most of the agricultural areas of the central and eastern United States. At the present time, jet stream has a little bit of a split over the Rockies, which continues the supply of cold air throughout the Rocky Mountains and down into the southwest. Turns out this is not the greatest of seasons to be visiting Arizona. You'll get some beautiful days, of course, but it's not consistently warm. South Florida is warm, South Texas is warm, northern plains, Great Lakes, and Rockies will remain relatively cold and mostly below freezing. You may get a few days where it gets up to near freezing, but this is not a warm weather pattern. This is a cold weather pattern, even though the sub-zero stuff, at least the daytime sub-zero stuff, has retreated. There will be a bit of a cool down into the deep south toward the end of the week and into the weekend, and as the month of March really kicks in, it will continue to be colder than average and mostly colder than 32 degrees across the northern Rockies, the northern plains, and the Great Lakes. There will be intrusions of warm air up into the lower part of the Midwest, and with this particular shape of a weather pattern, it does favor precipitation systems, which would likely bring the chance for some rain. And that's the forecast this week. There will be a chance, looks like early in the week, and maybe a second one, of some light freezing precipitation or snow. Most likely this will end up being snow for the most part, but I put the pink in there because I think there might be some frozen stuff. A little further south, a little bit of a rain-snow mix through the Midwest, and then a lot of this is likely to be rain in places like southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and southern Ohio. The only certainly dry area is going to be the Rio Grande, because the west coast will bring some snows down into the Rockies, and a little chain of systems moving from north to south along the west coast will continue to bring precipitation, some of it fairly heavy, to the southwest and the western states. The last week of this forecast, which is now full-on March weather, I still think the pattern looks pretty snowy across the northern plains. This might not be one big storm, but a sequence of lows that would bring chances for measurable snow. So an active weather pattern moving into March, and that snow will turn into a mixture or rain as we get down into the lower portions of the Midwest. Either way, it looks like a fairly wet pattern, cold in the north and a little warmer than average in the southern parts of the Corn Belt.